it's Eric with His&Hers HHQ. We're going to be starting a new build series. This one is going to be Revell's 29 Ford pickup 3-in-1 1/25th scale. This here's a really nice kit. Revell partnered with Goodguys R.C.A Association and produced a series of kits based off of a lot of their rides. But that's not what we're going to do. I like the hard top here, and that's what we're going to work with. But this kit is not going to be this wonderful, beautiful truck coming out of this box when we are done with it. It's going to be the next in my series that I'm calling Creatures of the Road. You can go back and look. I've already done Frankenstein's Monster. It's the AMT Ford Phantom van in 1/25th scale that I seriously butchered and turned into Frankenstein's Monster, or a representation of Frankenstein's Monster anyway. This one, this wonderful, beautiful kit, is going to be the Wolfman. I do have the car that I'm going to turn into Dracula's hearse, but we'll get to that eventually. For now, we're going to work on the Wolfman, and so we're going to review the plastic real quick, and that should be this video. I don't think we're actually going to do any building yet, but that'll be Wednesdays. So anyway, this is what we have. And again, I do believe Revell partnered with Goodguys R.C.A Association. I did a little bit of reading, well, both on the box and on the directions. And evidently there was a group of people that got together. They formed the Goodguys R.C.A Association, and they wanted to get back to more of the classic 40s, early 50s type hot rodding. None of the fancy stuff you see in a hot rod today. Just good old-fashioned hot rods from the 40s and early 50s. And I can really appreciate that. That's actually my favorite kind of hot rod. But again, that's not what this kit's about. This kit's about the Wolfman. So let's get into a little bit of review. First off, in the box, we have the directions, which you can clearly see have seen better days, obviously. Looks like your pretty good standard Revell directions, telling you what parts you're going to need to build what version. You have a hard top, you have a convertible, and you have a Trek Roadster. But looking at this, it's only got the one engine. So as much as I actually like this engine, I'm actually going to have to dig into either my parts bin or one of my other kits, because I need either a V6 or a V8 because of what I plan on doing here exhaust wise. But yeah, this is pretty clear instructions, pretty decent instructions anyway, pretty easy to follow, but definitely gonna have fun with this. And we only need the directions just for your basic info. On this side of the bench, we still have the decals. These are some wonderful decals, and I'm definitely going to save them, but I don't see me using any of these decals on the kit, so they're going to be something I'm going to set aside. I don't know, maybe I'll send them off to somebody and be like, here you go, you can have these decals. Clear piece of acetate. This is for the front and back windows, side windows if you want them. I like how it's got the protective cover on it, which was a good thing. I actually had plenty of acetate, but it's nice to see that this kit comes with it. Bagged separately over here, we have this set of chrome bits. It looks like it's the rings for the tires, the hubcaps, and the mirror. Okay, that looks like the mirror. So these are separate from the other chrome. I'm seriously digging these tires, and I may actually stick with these back tires. I had talked about having some of like those classic slicks, but I really like these tires. And just to show you, I've got a pair of those slicks. They need a little bit of cleanup, but they were been sitting in my parts box that my neighbor had given me, and I think those would be pretty cool too. But I'm digging these tires. I love that tread pattern on there. These here are a no name bias ply tire, whereas these here are branded Goodyear. So we'll see. I may use these, I may not, but I am digging that tread pattern. And speaking of tires, I do have those slicks, but I've also got these tall slicks. I have no idea what they went to, but this was given to me in a parts box, so they need cleanup and all that. But I like those tall slicks. Those things are really neat. Anyway, I digress. We got the axle, and it looks like a set of pins for the front tires, maybe. But, so we have the support of the metal pin. On the other side of the table, we have a lot of white plastic. Now, this body, considering how, this frame, considering how how bad the box looked, is actually fairly straight, which I'm pleased with. I mean, you know, maybe there's a little bit of warpage, but the thing is the fenders are coming off, and well, part of the back fenders are coming off. But with this tree, we have your stock or standard bench. It looks like the floor pan, steering wheel. I'm not sure what these are, but that one's obviously ruined. Looks like hood halves, maybe. The support for the bench seat. And here's the back. It's actually got a really nice, subtle, cloth-like texture to it. Then we have this poor body here. You can see this is where the box being crushed really affected the plastic. Now, a lot of this can probably be fixed pretty easily, actually. As you can see, I've even sort of fixed it just playing with it like this. By getting rid of the supports here, we may be able to fix that warpage, but it doesn't matter because we're not using this tub. We're using this tub. Now, what's going to happen here is, this is my thought process. We're going to close this off because the Wolfman is going to leave scratch marks. It's going to be armor plated. We're going to cut down the front end a little bit here so we can bring the roof down at a rakish angle, give it kind of that angry eyes look. And yeah, I love this cab, and it's actually pretty solid, so we don't need to worry about warpage there. It actually looks pretty straight there. We have the bed, soft top. Looks like the custom rear end, tailgate. Looks like this here's the bulk of our engine and transmission, and exhaust. Not sure what that might be, a part of the transmission. Belt and pulleys. Yeah, but I mean, so far you can see there's a lot of flash here. I don't know which kit Revell used to base this build, this particular kit off of, but you can see the mold had seen plenty of better days. But here we got the Steelies. I'm guessing that this here, or these here, connect to the back of these and present our rims. And I'm thinking, considering looking at the backs of these tires, that those bits fit in there to provide rigidity or something. I don't know why Revell would do that. Anyway, that looks like bits of the wheels. We have the short doors for the open cab or the convertible. We have the full doors for the hardtop. We got the classic stock hood sides and classic roof. We got a few more little hinge points or door handles here. Looks like maybe a shifter. I don't know. That's what the directions are for. Another piece of, well, actually that may be the cowl for the front of the truck. I don't know. But anyway, there's those. Here we've got the custom seat, seat back and seat bottom, or that reverse set. And here we've got that custom front end, that rounded bubble nose. I don't know about this one. That's kind of neat, actually. Radiator frame, window frame for your convertible, then the Roadster, custom exhaust. I love this chassis though. This chassis, the separate or independent chassis works exactly the way we were looking for. It's got looks like, I'm betting that's a battery mounted in, or part of the frame, and it looks like it would be upside down. I don't get that. But anyway, we'll find all that out in the directions as we go along on the build. We got a nice little plastic pile going on. Now again, I do like to leave the chrome in the plastic for the builds, and that's to preserve the chrome. However, as you can see, we have all this chrome suspension front end here, these different rear ends, the custom spoked wheels. I'm guessing these are rear axle. These are maybe rear, no, front, rear. Anyway, let's see, headlights, maybe, yeah, headlights. Then that would be the headlight rail there. Single exhaust, because the engine that comes with it's a 4-banger, and it just has these sticking out the side. Bumper and all your various linkages, front end, the steering, radiator cowl. So we've got a lot of good stuff here, lots of stuff to work with. So obviously a lot of this stuff is going to get de-chromed, because no, we're not going to go with that. But we'll see where everything goes, see what we actually need and or are going to use. Now, generally speaking, what I'm thinking is, except for quite possibly replacing the engine, we're going to lengthen the chassis. We're going to lengthen the front end a bit. Probably going to add maybe a foot of chassis. So you're looking at about 1 inch or just under 1 inch of chassis added to the front end. Or it may be like half an inch here, half an inch there. We'll see exactly as the build goes along, we'll see exactly where we're looking for things to be. So yeah, we're going to, I think I'm not going to use these. I'm going to use the stock stuff. The doors are going to be on there, obviously. We just have to figure out where we're going to alter the door there. Well, this here is the hinge side, so obviously this will be the altered front end because we're bringing down the roof just a little bit. We're not going to be using the hood sides, even though these are really nice and have some raised detail there. We are going to be sticking with the Steelies. I do like the Steelies, and that's what we're going to use. And like I said, I think because I happen to like it, we're going to be using the rings, the chrome rings for sure. I may leave the hubcaps off, or I may put the hubcaps like in the back and leave them off on the front, something like that. But yes, definitely going to give it that nice rakish angle, kind of, what do they call it? An arter rake, I think is what it's called, where it sits. Anyway, let's look at this. So it's got kind of a, not quite that exaggerated, but you get the point. It'll sit something like that. Yeah, so we're going to be getting rid of the fenders, front fenders for sure. And looking at this, when this sits in place, when that sits in place, what I'm thinking, and I had discussed this in the previous build, I'm going to give this kind of a wolfish look. That's why we're lowering the front of the roof, because I'm going to give it that angled or angry look to it. Like the interior will be red. So it'll look like you're looking at two angry red eyes kind of thing. I'm going to give the hood and cowl line here kind of ridged, like it's the snout look. And I kind of want to do ears. And looking at this, it's one of those things I was thinking about. Initially, I was thinking cutting off the fender right about here and then bring it up kind of like ears. Well, I got to looking at a lot of photos of dogs, of course, and then your various Wolfman, people who had played the Wolfman, how their makeup was done. I kind of like the concept of both the original Wolfman kind of feel and go a little bit of John Landis and Michael Jackson's Thriller and bring the ears up where they're kind of off the back here. Not maybe that high up, but somewhere down in here, and ears up like this and back down to the fender. And you know, bring them back a little bit so it looks like it's angry or scowling at you. And then, of course, there won't be any rear fenders. Let's see, the bed. And we're going to get rid of the sides of the bed since there's not going to be any fenders. or at least a portion of the back of the bed. We're going to get rid of it because the bed is going to be a cage. I'm going to scratch build a cage, even though it's got that nice wood panel look to it, and we may use that. We're going to scratch build a cage to represent where the Wolfman was caged up, and like maybe give the hinged door a warpage, as if somebody had or something had broken out. Much like I did my Frankenstein's monster build, where it's got the creature's surgical slab table in the back of the truck, and the straps are hanging loose to the side, and yes, those straps are scratch built by me. So it's as if the creature was there but got away. Well, it'll be the same thing with this. The Wolfman was there, but he got away. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm really feeling this build. And we have a lot to plan out here. So I hope you stick around for this. I'm looking forward to the build. I mean, realistically speaking, this would turn into a really, really nice kit. And I'm sure any one of us would do the Goodguys R.C.A Custom Association proud, doing something with this build. But I'm here not to do anything for that. I'm doing my own build. Just because that's what's in the box doesn't mean that's what has come out of the box. Just so you can see that you can have fun with all this plastic. So, that being said, I think we're done with the review of all the parts. Brief discussion on what we're looking to do, and I hope you stick around for it. I'm Eric with His&Hers HHQ. If you haven't yet, take a moment, follow us over on Facebook at His&Hers Hobby Headquarters, and follow us over there. We are working on building up and being more proactive in posting over there. Obviously, like, subscribe, share the content, show your friends, and of course, comment below. Good, bad, you name it, hit me with your comments. I always try to be interactive, and it may be 5 minutes later, it may be 5 days later, but I will try my level best to reply. So feel free to comment, and of course, enjoy your modeling. That's what this is about. It's about having fun. Sometimes a kit can push you and discourage you, but then you got to get into something to do something different. So that's what we're doing here. We're continuing with my Creatures of the Road, and we're going with the Wolfman. So I'm Eric. Have a good day.